Hollywood movies paint a picture of megaships taking on deadly waves with CGI ease. But what really happens when these colossal vessels tangle in real-life open ocean? Despite the experience of the captain, all it takes is one wrong turn, and paradise turns to pandemonium. From large container ships slamming into each other, monstrous waves tossing vessels like toys, and equipment malfunctions that turn into watery disasters, we'll be uncovering the 7 biggest ship mistakes and collisions ever recorded on the sea. Let's begin. Number 1, the MV Golden Ray. Picture this: a massive car carrier loaded with thousands of brand new vehicles leaving a Georgia port for Baltimore. Sounds normal, right? Well, on the 8th of September 2019, the seemingly routine voyage of the MV Golden Ray, a car carrier, took a nightmarish turn. Just after leaving the port of Brunswick, the Golden Ray, a horror of a ship nearly 700 feet long, began tilting heavily to one side. And within minutes, the unthinkable happened. The entire ship capsized, crashing onto its side on a nearby shoal. On this day, the MV Golden Ray left Brunswick and went to Baltimore, where it was to be loaded with 4,300 cars to be delivered in the Middle East. At around midnight, this gigantic ship left Georgia, and it was only 20 minutes away from the port when it suddenly capsized. At that moment, the incident was shocking to the crew members and the nautical team, who were communicating with the ship's captain as the ship listed, never to be recovered. According to the captain, it all happened within the blink of an eye, as he didn't think anything was wrong with the ship before leaving the port.
At that point, I went back to hard to port because I had nothing to lose, and at that time, I was capsized. I had no context at the time that my rudder and propeller were out of the water.
However, the ocean area known as St. Simon's Sound was only 32 feet deep, so the ship's side got stuck on the seabed, halting its tumble process. Thankfully, no lives were lost in this dramatic disaster. The crew managed to activate emergency procedures and were all rescued. But the Golden Ray was a complete wreck, declared a total loss. The thousands of vehicles it carried were ruined by salt water and the chaos of the capsizing. The environmental impact was also significant. Thousands of gallons of fuel spilled into the water, threatening marine life. It took a staggering 16 months to finally remove the wreck, leaving behind a hefty price tag of over $200 million. The investigation into the shipwreck of the Golden Ray revealed a critical error. The officer in charge of calculating the ship's stability made a mistake when entering the data. This error led to the ship being loaded with excessive weight in the wrong areas, ultimately causing it to capsize during a turn. Number 2, Elba Island, Italy. Elba Island, a vacation paradise off the coast of Tuscany, Italy, became the unlikely stage for a comical yet costly maritime mishap, something that should never have occurred in the first place. But what really happened? On a sunny afternoon, a majestic cruise ship dwarfing the surrounding yachts arrived at the picturesque harbor of Elba Island with its tourist-filled crew, who were excited to have gotten to their vacation destination. The weather is idyllic, the water calm, and everything seems perfect for a relaxing port visit or vacation. However, as the ship gets closer to its designated spot, something becomes noticeably amiss. The ship continues to drift forward, ever so slightly, despite seemingly being ready to dock. Panic began to set in on the decks as passengers realized the ship was not stopping. Tourists on the shore gape in astonishment as the colossal vessel inched closer and closer to the beach. Then, with a sickening thud, the front of the ship collides harmlessly with the wood part of the docking area. What would have been a seamless docking experience turned out to be a startling one. The cruise ship ran aground due to a rather embarrassing oversight. The captain and his crew forgot to drop anchor. What a crazy error.
Lady out of there.
The impact sends up a spray of sand and water, but thankfully the grounding seems gentle, and there were no injuries from the incident. The aftermath of the incident is a mix of relief and amusement. Tugboats are called in to pull the ship free, an operation that takes several hours. The grounding caused significant damage to the ship's front section, likely requiring extensive repairs at a dry dock. The financial cost of the incident, although not mentioned, must have been substantial. Number 3. The APL Mexico City container ship. The bustling port of Antwerp, Belgium, is no stranger to massive container ships. But on December 9, 2019, one such ship, the APL Mexico City, became an unlikely villain in a scene of dramatic destruction. The APL Mexico City, a large container ship stretching over 1,000 feet, was already securely docked at the Dourgonc dock, and everything seemed calm and routine in the harbor. However, the tranquility is shattered as a sudden and violent storm descends upon Antwerp. Winds, reaching speeds exceeding 75 kilometers per hour, transform the scene into one of chaos. The seemingly secure mooring lines of the APL Mexico City give way, unable to withstand the relentless assault of the wind. The massive ship, now untethered, begins to drift uncontrollably across the harbor, and it slams directly into a towering gantry crane on the dock. The crane buckles under the immense weight of the ship, collapsing in a shower of twisted metal and debris. Even the cargo the ship was carrying didn't even need to be offloaded as it all came crashing down. Due to the prompt evacuation before the storm, there were no casualties in this incident. However, the physical damage was severe. The APL Mexico City's hull was significantly damaged. The surrounding dock area sustained damage from debris, and the collapsed crane was a total loss. The financial impact was also substantial, estimated at over $50 million for repairs to the ship and dock, as well as the lost crane. Number 4. MV Arvin. The MV Arvin, a Panamanian cargo ship carrying 3,000 tons of urea fertilizer, set sail from Georgia in January 2020. Little did its crew know they were about to face a battle for survival. On that very day, the sea was set to journey through the Black Sea, a sea notorious for its unpredictable, terrifying storms. In the beginning, the sea looked calm, and the crew on the MV Arvin were convinced that the stories about the sea's tragic storms wouldn't be something they would experience during their journey. Out of nowhere, the tides changed, and the seemingly calm sea transformed into a turbulent mass of fury as a violent storm descended upon the Arvin. Monstrous waves, taller than the ship itself, slammed against the vessel, twisting its steel frame like a piece of paper. Meanwhile, the captain of the Arvin struggled against the onslaught as he called for help. The ship pitched and rolled violently, water cascading over its decks. But the storm's fury proved too much. With a horrifying snap, visible even from a distance, the Arvin split clean in two. Turkish Coast Guard vessels courageously entered the storm to rescue the distressed crew. But tragically, 8 crew members and 2 rescuers lost their lives. The shipwreck also had a significant environmental impact, with tons of spilled fertilizer polluting the Black Sea and leading to cleanup costs totaling $30 million. Number 5. The Cheeky Rafiki disaster. The Cheeky Rafiki, a 40.7-foot sailing yacht named after the meerkat from a Disney movie titled The Lion King, embarked on a seemingly routine transatlantic journey in May 2014. The yacht, carrying a crew of 4 experienced sailors, departed Antigua and set sail for Southampton, England. However, their journey met a tragic end on May 16th, far from the sight of land. As the Cheeky Rafiki sailed eastward, weather conditions began to deteriorate. The initially calm seas grew increasingly rough, with winds escalating to force 7, strong enough to whip up sizable waves.
Shit.
While the crew was undoubtedly skilled, something went terribly wrong. Investigations showed that the yacht's keel, the fin-like structure that provides stability, detached from its hull due to the strong winds. Records revealed that the ship's skipper made a report about hitting a huge wave and described the situation as worse after a while. But that was the last anyone ever heard from the 4-person crew in the Cheeky Rafiki. With its keel gone, the Cheeky Rafiki would have immediately become uncontrollable. Tossed mercilessly by the waves, the ship is suspected to have quickly capsized, its upturned hull becoming a helpless victim of the churning sea. Just like that, no one ever heard from the ship again. Several efforts were made to recover the 4-man crew, but after 3 days of endless search, it was called off. Just a few days later, a U.S. Navy helicopter discovered the boat's wreckage 1,000 miles off the coast of Massachusetts. The lifeboat was still on board, a sign that immediately killed any hopes of finding the missing crew. Number 6, the Suez Canal traffic. Do you know what it's like to experience a traffic jam? But instead of cars on a highway, gigantic container ships are stuck in a narrow canal. That's precisely what happened on March 23, 2021, when the MV Ever Given, a sea beast longer than 4 football fields, got stuck in the Suez Canal. The Ever Given, en route to delivering barrels of oil, got caught in a powerful sandstorm. Strong winds exceeding 40 knots struck the Ever Given, causing it to veer off course and stay grounded in a single-lane stretch of the canal. Now here's the problem. The Suez Canal plays a significant role in global maritime trade, handling roughly 10% of the world's oil passed via sea. With the 300-foot Ever Given blocking the way, a convoy of 15 other ships was left waiting in a queue that stretched for miles. For 6 long days, the world watched in disbelief as a single ship brought international trade to a near standstill. The financial impact was staggering. Aside from the blocked cargo, which was estimated to cost billions, the incident cost the owners and insurers of the Ever Given a whopping $550 million, a settlement fee they had to pay to the Egyptian Suez Canal Authority. Such a hefty price tag for a giant ship in the wrong place at the wrong time. Number 7, Spanish vessel. In February 2014, the tranquil waters off the French coast near Bayonne became the stage for a dramatic and tragic maritime disaster. The Luno, a Spanish cargo ship, met its demise in a violent encounter with the unforgiving sea. On that day, the Luno, a seemingly unremarkable cargo ship, was captured battling against increasingly rough seas. High waves crashed against the vessel, and strong winds struck it from side to side. And within the blink of an eye, the situation quickly deteriorates. According to reports, the Luno encountered a sudden and severe storm, with winds exceeding 70 miles per hour. These brutal conditions put immense strain on the ship, and disaster struck. At some point, the Luno could no longer withstand the assault from the strong wind and the heavy storm. With a sickening crack that echoes across the turbulent watercourse, the ship splits cleanly in two. The front half plunges immediately beneath the waves, taking with it any cargo on board. The environmental impact of this shipwreck was significant. The Luno, though not carrying so much cargo at the time, was filled with fuel and oil. Leakage from the ruptured tanks threatened to pollute the surrounding waters, prompting French authorities to implement emergency contamination measures. Thankfully, a swift rescue operation by French helicopters saved all 11 crew members, including one who sustained minor injuries. All right, that's a wrap on 7 of the most incredible ship collisions and mistakes caught on camera. Remember, even though these incidents can be dramatic, safety regulations and improvements in technology are constantly making sea travel safer. But they do serve as a reminder of the immense power and responsibility that comes with navigating these giant vessels. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this.